Jason. This is Sean. If you're not seeing it live, you will see it later, but we'll wait for a little bit of people to come in here. But big time monster win by your Pittsburgh Steelers, finally getting out of that rut and getting out of their own way here a little bit. You saw big passes down to George Pickens and all that mess. So what's up, Sean?
What's up, Jason? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, man. I am so pleased with what I just witnessed. And Mason Rudolph was out there doing exactly what I've been waiting for, firing the ball across the middle of the damn field.
No doubt, man. Big time plays. I still think there's some room for improvement. That's what the big thing was. My biggest takeaway when you're performing at that level, if you're Mason Rudolph, a guy that hasn't been in there for years, man, really, and you come out there, you're able to perform at that level, and there's still room for improvement. Still could be reading the defense a little bit better. Still could be utilizing those tight ends, and they still were able to put up monster points for the first time in I can't even remember how long. All right, guys, I'm Jason. This is Sean. Again, this is Mike Drop Sports. We're live here reacting to the post game of the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals in Pittsburgh, where the Steelers pulled off a big win, a much needed win to stay in this playoff hunt. And if you have any comments, put them in there. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and like and share. Thank you. All right, Sean, what was your biggest takeaway, dude, from this game? What do you think was your biggest shining moment? Besides the obvious, Mason Rudolph, what did you think the Steelers did well that they haven't been doing well for a long time?
They were utilizing the tight ends. They were bringing out their big formations, and they were running the ball exactly how they needed to run it all year. We haven't seen them pull out the three tight ends like that and just go crazy on offense this whole season. So the fact that I saw that, I knew that was a great sign. And of course, the biggest thing and the first thing I noticed was Mason Rudolph throwing the ball across the middle of the field.
Yeah, that first slant to George Pickens, that was a real big time NFL throw. And I thought that really set the tone for this football game. It set the tone that Mason Rudolph was going to come out, not be afraid to put it in tight spaces, and really just do what he needed to do and be comfortable. And that was big. All right, guys, JD says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, JD. We appreciate that. Big win. Hopefully, this is indicative of of future success from the Biz. Thanks, Biz. That was a good comment. Yeah, hopefully it is. But like Sean said, they were starting to bring out those big formations. They were starting to just have a little bit of power football there. And now they need to throw out of those formations, get that to the tight end there and in the pass game and utilize that and mix things up. And I think that will be big. Also, the Biz says, I will also say they dominated the Bengals the last time as well. Yes, you're right, Biz. They did. But the only difference was this time is they put up points. And that was the big difference that in this time that they beat the Bengals. All right, Sean, when you saw George Pickens getting those yards, getting those touchdowns, and after the week that George Pickens had, what do you think that did for George Pickens? Do you think that that's going to take the limelight off of him a little bit with his 195-yard performance, 2 touchdowns? Or you think that's going to tone things down a little bit? Do you think it's going to make George Pickens happy, or do you think he's going to continue doing George Pickens things, being a brat?
I think because of the game that he just had, that he might snap out of it a little and have a better attitude. But from like we saw like last week, that's completely unacceptable. He needs to be a better team player, especially when you guys are down in the trenches. Just because he has a big game doesn't mean that, oh, I can be nice now. You gotta have each other's backs through the thick and the thin.
Yeah, and you got to be consistent. And hopefully, this will be a building block for George Pickens. He got the football, managed big time yards, big catches, touchdowns, really did what he had to do. You didn't see him out there pouting at all because things were going his way. But yeah, this hopefully is that building block for George Pickens. JD asks in the chat, does Mason finish the season or back to Kenny? I say you ride with the hot hand, but what says you, Sean?
You know what? I really like what Mason did. I saw something from Mason Rudolph today that I haven't seen from any other quarterback this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was confident. He was staying inside the pocket. He wasn't panicking and running up and down the field just because he heard somebody get hit or he can hear footsteps behind him. He stayed in there like a soldier and was firing the football like I've been waiting to see.
Yeah, he really did. His pocket awareness, his ability to move in and out of the pocket and slide up when you need to, slide to the left when you need to. That was a real big shining star for him tonight. That I thought that he really did that well. Here's the next question that came in. Nova Racer said, "Where are all the Mason haters now?" Yeah, true, man. He shut some people up, and
Yep.
he was very humble after the game, so that was a good thing. Robert Road asked, "That was fun, but I have to wonder if that means we are stuck with Tomlin." And I got to bring up one thing here real quick before we'll get Sean's thoughts on that. Mike Florio put out a report today, this evening, this afternoon. And he's a guy that's connected to this team pretty decently to where he knows kind of what's going on with this football team. A Pittsburgh guy, a big time network guy. And he said that there are no types of thanks, Biz, for the donation. That's awesome, man. I appreciate it, dude. Awesome. Thanks, Biz. That was much appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, but you saw Mike Florio say today that the Steelers brass, the organization, has no interest in getting rid of Mike Tomlin. And then you've seen that Tomlin, also from Mike Florio, has no interest in leaving. But that doesn't mean, guys, that another team out there isn't going to say, hey, we'll offer you this type of draft pick, this type of draft capital for Mike Tomlin's services. So I don't think the saga is over just yet. But I think that gave us a little insight into. I don't think the Steelers are interested just yet. But hey, stranger things have happened. But what do you think, Sean? Does the way this team look today, being inspired, playing tough, defense playing tough, does that buy Tomlin some more time? Or do you think the Steelers would want to move on?
I think it might have bought him a little bit more time, maybe. I think it's still a little bit too early to make that judgment. And we got to see if how he finishes out the season. This. I don't want to say, oh yeah, he's in the clear now when it could have been a fluke win. Because what happened was it 3 or 4 weeks ago we put up 421 yards, and then it was just downhill from there. It was on a skid. So if he can finish out the season how they played today, he can possibly buy more time. Yes, I believe that.
Yeah, and Tomlin isn't a horrible coach. We've never said that. It's just that his time has passed here, in my opinion. I think his message has become stale. I like the way this team came out today. You saw the defense flying around, making plays, 3 big interceptions. Alex Highsmith with a real heads up play. I don't know if you guys saw the one play from Alex Highsmith where he faked like he was going to drop back in pass coverage and came after the passer, and that was big. That was a nice move. So Alex Highsmith, a guy that's been quiet for weeks here, in my opinion, quietly just hanging out, really had a big time football game today. What did you think about Sean today's defensive performance? Did you think that they really were able to? Well, we did lose Landon Roberts with a pectoral injury. We'll keep our eyes on that. But what did you think? Did you think that they really came through today? And do you think they're going to be able to sustain this moving forward? Or do you think this was just kind of a fluky type thing?
I think that the defensive players really stepped up, and I'd really like to give credit to the safeties that went out there and played their hearts out today. They dropped a few
Patrick?
plays here and there, but that's a given, right? These guys are still real new to this system. They've been sitting, riding on playing against practice squads, and they haven't been out there on the field like they have today. So I'm very impressed with how our defense showed up today. The
Yeah, I
Bengals.
think that guy's name was what? Rowe? Was that Rowe?
I would have to look into that, and
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
can't
I didn't
remember
write
his name,
anything
but he
down.
had the interception. Yeah, he had the interception. I didn't know. I couldn't remember when you were talking about him. Yeah, Patrick Peterson, Sean, moving back there to the safety spot. Guys, we've rewrote him a lot this season on this channel, and I thought he played well today. What do you think of Patrick Peterson's performance, Sean?
Feel like the veteran in him really shined today. I don't know if Mike Tomlin went into the locker room and actually made some changes that he promised us, but I feel like I did see some changes that I was not expecting. And like I said, I'm very pleased. And yeah, I think Patrick Peterson, he played great. He didn't go out there and just put on the jersey like we were saying like last week. He actually went out there and made some plays for us, man.
Yeah, he played. He played with some real heart. And when you move to a different position to help the football team, I think that might have lifted this defense up a little bit. We always say things are like that are corny or whatever, but they're really not, man. You got to inspire people sometimes, and whenever you lead by example, go in and do things that you don't normally do, and you play well and you play your heart out. People tend to follow, dude. People tend to want to get behind that. So I appreciate that. Let's get back to some of the comments. Nova Racer, Tomlin will go back to Kenny, and his players will hate him even more. That might happen, man, but I'm not sure you can go back to Kenny Pickett. What do you think, Sean? Do you think you can even go back to Kenny Pickett, even if he's healthy? Or do you just got to go with Mason until he struggles? And then if he struggles, have Kenny as that number two to just come in and try to save the day. Is that what you think Tomlin should do?
I think Tomlin should let Mason Rudolph play, man. He went out there and proved it in one game. And yeah, next week, start Mason again. If he continues to play like this, Pickett does not deserve to go out there because he hasn't put up any numbers like this that we've seen yet.
No, not like that. I thought Mason really commanded this offense tonight, really led it, really played tough. And, and that's all you can ask for. He did what you had to do. Jerry Cherry Band. Nova Racer said Pickens was happy tonight because he knew he had a QB that could actually get him the ball. Maybe so, man. And maybe that's been the problem, might be, bud. Jerry Cherry Band, good show. Go Steelers. Thanks, man. We appreciate that, Jerry. Chase Peace, we just won, and you all want to talk about firing Tomlin? Shaking my head, I'm out. Hey, bro, we're not even talking about firing him now, but we need to know. That's been a topic of discussion. I know some people get mad about those types of things. I know some people, if you don't agree with them right away, they're going to jump and blow up right away. And that's just the society we live in today, guys. And I hate for people to be like that, but we have to talk about all the aspects. Everybody was trying to fire him this week, the whole week. So we have to ask, did this buy him more time? Is Tomlin still the guy, And one game doesn't do anything. And we had a commenter say everybody will be excited when they beat the Bengals. And then, hey, what if they fall apart? But that's what we got to talk about it all, guys. We got to talk about every angle. So, all right, guys, let's keep moving on here. They showed some heart today. Hopefully they continue. Yeah, JD, no doubt. Secondary played lights out without starters. Yeah. I thought that was big too. I thought that was a big thing. Jerry Cherry Band, when you can score on offense, the D plays like that. True, man, no doubt. I agree. And did you think that too, Sean? Once you saw that offense being able to put up points, do you think that gave the defense that inspiration? Do you think that's what lifted them up, knowing that they didn't have to play from behind and struggle?
Oh, absolutely. Your confidence stays up higher when you know you can go sit down, take a break, and your offense is going to go out there and wear down the other defense. And yeah, and you go out there feeling fresh. We keep saying that all season long. You're feeling fresh. You're feeling good. Your confidence level is going to go up, and you're going to play better. It's really that simple.
Yeah. All right. Next comment. Beer Malls. Great win. Here's my problem, folks. George scores first TD. He gives the sign and covers his ears that he is facing the crowd like he doesn't want to hear it. And then later on, he does a chomper motion. Yeah. I didn't like that little thing that he did, but maybe he was trying to say like silence the media or something like that. I'm not sure what was going through his head, but I agree with Beer Malls. I don't like that. I think you should just, if you're George Pickens, throw the ball, celebrate however you will, but like don't play into any more of the bullshit. You know what I mean? Don't do that. All right, let's keep going. Sorry guys if I miss any comments. I'm trying to keep up here.
I did notice
George
it.
Tom, what's that, bud?
I was just saying I did not like that either. That was a sign of his immaturity that's still there.
Yeah. Yeah. And George, Beer Malls brings out a good point, too. Tomlin did defend George this week. He talked about him, had an extra press conference about him, and then he did something like that. And he still does got a little bit of attitude. What do you think about that, Sean? Do you think that George Pickens still remains the problem even when he did stuff like that? Do you think that's going to be brought out this week within the media?
I really hope that honestly, I hope the media doesn't make a big deal out of that. He's feeling good about himself. He wanted to say shh, basically, but you shouldn't do that to the cameras. Just go out there and let the playing do the talking. You don't need to do anything other than that. Go out there, do your job, get back on the sidelines.
Right, no doubt. And Biz says Pickett put up 278 against the Bengals, but no TDs last time. It's going to be interesting. I say let Pickett heal. And if Mason looks good, let the guy roll better than Mitch for sure. I agree. He played way better than Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky looks lost within this offense at times, and it makes you wonder if he's picked up a playbook throughout the season. Sometimes he does. He just looks lost. It's kind of crazy to me. But whenever Biz says there, let Mason go and let Kenny heal for sure. Keep him as the number 2 if he's 90% or whatever. I like that. I think that that's how it should go. Do you think that too, Sean? Kind of keep Kenny as the number 2, put Mitchell as the inactive third string emergency guy, and kind of roll with that for the rest of the season. Would you do that if you were the Steelers?
Yeah, if I was in control of that, I would definitely have Mason coming back out to start again. Have Kenny on the back seat waiting. If he has to take over, put him in there. But like you said, Mason is the hot hand right now.
Yeah, and in football, you have to go with it, guys. Hot hand, go with it. And that's where I get frustrated sometimes whenever Jalen Warren's hot in the game and they give him 9 carries. I thought Najee played well today. He got some tough yards. But those days when Najee isn't as effective and they keep putting him out there and Jalen's hot and not getting as many opportunities, that's where we all talk about the hot hand. You got to go with that hot hand. Beer Mall says you start winning playoff games, George. You can act cocky, but right now, still not impressed. I got to go with you, Beer Malls. I think we're on the same wavelength. You, Sean, myself. I think
Yeah.
we're all on there. Tomlin deserves to be disrespected. He is terrible. Where has Mason been? Tomlin has treated him so badly since he got here, and then Mason saves his season. I got to bring that something up real quick whenever Nova Racer said that. Nova Racer says that, and I agree. Mason didn't get a real fair shot. Once he got that concussion, I thought he was kind of cooked for a while. But he really didn't get that total fair shot. He didn't get time like Kenny has gotten. And I know Kenny's a first round pick. And Mason did look good before he got destroyed by Earl Thomas. He did. I mean, he looked good. I thought he wasn't a superstar, and I don't think he's a superstar now. But I think he's a guy that can win you football games. He doesn't have a losing record. What do you think, Sean? Do you think that Mason Rudolph has had that fair shot with the Steelers? And do you think it's time now the Steelers give him that shot?
Yeah, I don't think it's been a fair shot for him yet, and I think that he deserves it. From what I've seen, he's got the best arm on the team is when it comes to the deep ball. Nobody's really pushing the ball down the field past 10, 15 yards, but Mason dropped a couple in there today that was right spot on the money. And even when he hit George Pickens across the middle, that ball was fired, man. And that's the kind of throws I've been talking about. Be confident, stay in the pocket, and trust your line, and just make the play. And that's exactly what he did. And look at the outcome.
Oh yeah, and Mason Rudolph has the strongest arm out of the 3 quarterbacks, hands down, 1,000%. And I think Kenny Pickett does lack arm strength. He lacks some arm talent because he doesn't deliver footballs with that type of zip. And now we're getting to see. We've seen now 3 different guys, so we're seeing the lack of arm strength from Kenny Pickett, and it shows. And now Kenny can overcome that in certain ways and deliver the football. But you saw Mason Rudolph take chances, especially when plays break down. He took chances as a throwaway pass, even. It's like, hey, he's giving guys the chance to go get it. He did miss one, that Deontay one. That one would have been a home run, baby. We didn't see much of Deontay after that, but I thought that would have been a home run. Robert Rowe Mason showed his desire when he picked up the first down with that run. That was tough. What did you think about that, Sean? I thought it was a little risque, but hey, he got it. He didn't get hurt, and that was a tough play. Did you like that toughness for Mason?
I like that toughness. And like I said, he's playing confidently. But what I didn't like was, like you said, the hit that he went in there and took. I kind of like held my breath for a second, like, oh, like, because if he went down, who's going to come in there and play? It'd be Mitch. And we know what happens when Mitch is in the game. Yeah, I thought it was a little risky, but you know what? Mason's willing to take that risk for the team, which is another reason why I think he deserves another shot.
Yeah, Nova Racer puts still down on Pickens after almost a 200-yard game. Yes, he needs to grow up, but how mad would you be if you only had 3 targets in a game when he knew he could have games like this? I got to say, Nova, nobody's like dogging him because his athletic ability, the way he plays football is unmatched. I mean, the kid is a beast. Well, the man is a beast. What I think people are most discouraged with is his inability to have maturity. And when you're a college graduate, you're a guy in the NFL, you're making good money. I think that's where people really start to ride on him and wonder why he acts like that when he could just be a hard worker and keep your mouth closed sometimes and not let those frustrations boil over and allow it to attack your character in public. I think that that's where people are getting the most frustrated with them. What do you think, Sean? Do you think that that's pretty much where people are? Like, they're more concerned about his immaturity at times and wish that he could just button that up and nobody's disputing his real athletic talent.
Yeah, that's a big concern for a lot of people, and I understand that. But this is where Tomlin needs to step in and really show that, and even the other coaches, they need to get in there and have a talk with Pickens and tell him he's got to zip it, just play football, do all your talking with the plays, don't look at the camera, don't be making any gestures, just go back, do your job, and yeah, you got to mature. It's time to take it to the next step. You're not in college anymore. Welcome to the NFL. You're a man now. Try to act like one.
Yeah. And I think that today, this could be that step. That could be the step for George Pickens. Uh, Fight through those needs to want to do things that don't make you look necessarily real, great in the public eye per se. Because in the NFL, you do have to play both sides of the coin, the media coin, the public relations side. You got to be able to play both of those when you're a professional, and that's just the way it is. Biz puts, where was DJ today? Seems invisible sometimes. Yeah, he did today, and I think that's just because George was eating, man, and Mason was fired up and going with him, and he found that hot hand as we were talking about. But I think Deontay will be okay, and hopefully that one miss that Mason had with him doesn't boil over anything. And I don't think it was, because Mason's had a good rapport with Deontay and good connection with him over the years. So, what do you think, Sean? Do you think Deontay just one of those games, or no big deal? That's what I think. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It was just one of those games. You can't be hot every game, every week. And look at Pickens. He was a non-factor for the past few weeks when DJ was showing up and making plays. It was just reverse roles. It's a part of football. Any given Sunday, you can have a good day, you can have a bad day. And yeah, we saw Pickens show up today, and DJ he lacked, but you know what? Other players stepped up.
Yeah. Corey LeCount says they got pressure rushing four guys, which is such a force multiplier for the defense. Great showing by the defense. I agree. When you're able to not have crazy blitz packages, bringing 5, 6 guys, and you're still getting pressure with just that four, I think is a product of playing an offense that's playing from behind. The run game isn't as effective. They don't have to worry about that run as much. What do you think, Sean? How did that defensive front as a whole, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, the defensive linemen, what do you think about their performance? And do you think that that was a product of that offense being able to score points? Or do you just think that that was just a good showing by that defense up front? Or do you think they benefited?
I feel like it was just a good showing by the defense. They really stepped up, came out there and did their jobs. They were putting pressure on the quarterback, and they were also, I was seeing the linebackers dropping back in coverage. I even saw TJ Watt drop back in coverage.
Hmm.
They were changing it up on him, and they kept them on their toes. I mean, on their heels, not their toes. They didn't know what to do. And, I think the defense really stepped up and gave us something we've been missing. It was a great performance.
Yeah, and I gotta say that I think Terrell Austin, Mike Tomlin, he had a role in it. I gotta give them props today that they really did come out with a good defensive game plan. But I gotta say too that I do think that the offense scoring points benefits that defense. I mean, it has to, and it's all part of those three phases working together. We saw. Wait, before when we said three phases. Tell me, does anybody want Presley Harvin to punt for this football team anymore? He sucks, boys and girls. He blows. I think so. What do you think, Sean, about Presley Harvin?
He's one of the worst punters in the NFL. And even today, actually, I was surprised today. He had one that went within past the 10-yard line. That actually shocked me. And if that shocked me, then that tells me he's horrible, because this is the NFL. You got punters all over the nation that are doing it on a daily basis. How this guy made
Yeah.
the NFL, I don't know.
He has a big leg. I mean, he does. He does have a big leg, but literally, he's not consistent. When you're at the 50-yard line and you get like a 35-yard net, whatever, eh, that's come on, bro. Let's go. You got to do better than that. He's just so inconsistent. A beer mall said any insider info on the Mason/Miles Garrett racist connotation he used, or is that a conspiracy theory? I have no clue on that one, brother. I that's a slippery slope, and I wasn't on that field that night, and I have no clue. I really don't, and I've never heard anybody really say anything besides Marquise Pouncey, who was right there and said that Mason never said it. So I'm going to go with the Steelers guys and what they said. That's my theory. What about you, Sean? That's my theory on it.
Yeah, I think it's hearsay. If he really would have said something like that, I don't know. I don't see that happening, man. Like I said, it's the NFL. These guys know where they're at, and he's not going to be out there using language like that. And if he did, I think his own teammates would turn on him too, and they
Yeah.
didn't. So I don't. I
No,
guess I don't believe it.
no, I don't, and I think it's over squashed. Hopefully, we'll never see something like that again. I ain't into that kind of stuff, like that racist stuff. Like, leave that out of the sport. Go out there, play hard. You're gonna have rough matchups with guys. Don't pull none of those cards, man. Never. That's just something that shouldn't be in sport. But hey,
Yeah.
all right. Foots Big says this was the most stress-free game I've watched in years. If they don't start Mason next week, I'll be pissed. Gotta agree. It was stress free. I feel good and relaxed after this game. What about you, Sean? I feel decent.
I feel great. I'm already having my beer. I didn't even wait till after this. I'm like, I'm having a beer. I'm celebrating.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Pittsburgh Steelers fans.
You guys ever had those mango margaritas at Longhorn? Man, I tore that up again today. That's what I said. I couldn't even really drink during the game because of that. That
My
thing's
lady
so
just had
good.
one. My lady just had one last night at BJ's.
Yeah, they're good, dude. I don't know why. I know it's a girly drink, guys, but man, I'll take it. It's good. That tequila will get you. Beer Mall says, I'm hearing people bashing Mason now. I don't know, fellas. I wouldn't bash Mason. That was a hell of a performance to come up from the third string quarterback and really play tough. Nova Racer, this is the only 11th start. They say you can't judge a QB until after his third year. Yeah, that's true too, man. No doubt about it. I'm going to try to get through some of these comments. We're going to have to miss a few guys I got down here. Beer Malls, I was only the Presley trained for the first three games, but man, he is deteriorated. I agree. Hearsay drama created by the Browns. I agree, Beer Mall. That's what we think too. Conspiracy theorists. Robert Road. Ramon said that there is no way that Mason would say such a thing. Ramon says Mason is a great dude. Well, there you go. And if Ramon Foster says it, guys, he's a he's what a Steeler should be. Ramon Foster worked hard, undrafted guy, played his heart out for this city, never complained, did what he had to do. And if Ramon Foster says it, I got to ride with it, man. That's my theory. And I don't know. I think so. Beer malls, those will do it. Yeah. Like the dollar marks at Applebee's. Yeah. No shit, man. They'll bury you, they'll hurt you. All right. Let's talk about that patchwork secondary, man. Rowe with the big interception. But I want to talk about one player, Joey Porter Jr. Tough assignment tonight against T. Higgins. T got his, man. T won that battle, if you ask me. But the penalties from Joey Porter Jr., is that becoming too much of a concern, or is that just this rookie type thing, trying to work out, the kinks? And a guy that has really come on strong this year, has stuck up for this team, really played his heart out, and is a rookie and played well. Do you think, Sean, that these penalties are going to continue down the road, or do you think that it's just a rookie type thing?
I think it's a rookie type thing, and he's going to fine tune his skills, and he did an excellent job, and yeah, I don't think it's something to really worry about. I think the guy's playing great. He's proven he's probably actually one of the best rookie cornerbacks I've ever seen as a rookie, and not only that, man, you know what? I think yeah, he might be the greatest thing that we've had on the cornerback position in a long time, and I can't wait to see him next week again. He's amazing.
Yeah, I think so. I think he plays well. You're going to have those penalties. I think they'll work themselves out to kind of equal out as his career goes on. Robert
And it,
Rhodes says he loves his beard too, but too bad he can't have any with all the meds he's on after his knee replacement. Sorry, dude. Next week, beer's back. Yeah, get off those. Yeah, go back to the beer. It's better for you anyway. Hey, good
and
luck,
you know,
Robert,
buddy,
on your knee replacement, man, for sure.
also the
Uh,
cornerback position, bro. That cornerback position that Porter's playing, that's probably the toughest position to play in the NFL.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're out on an island 90% of the time. And hey, you got to perform and you got to step up. What about the a lot of zone coverage tonight from the Pittsburgh Steelers, Sean? A lot of zone from a team and a defense that usually plays a shit ton of man coverage. Do you think that that was by design, or do you think uh, they only resorted to that because of how beat up the secondary was? And do you think it's something that they should play a little bit more? I know years ago people got pissed that they played a lot of zone because people picked them apart. But do you think it worked out well for them tonight? And do you think they should stick with that kind of defensive game plan?
I think it worked out really well, and it's yeah, he probably did it to help the safeties out there, and also Mike Tomlin said he was going to make some big changes, and that might have been part of the changes that he made.
Yeah, because they play the shit out of man coverage a lot of the times. But hey, when you don't have the personnel, you got to make things happen. And I think they did a good job tonight. All right, guys, we're going to start wrapping things up. Hey, thanks for the super chat again, Riz. That's pretty cool because we just started having the ability on the channel, since we're new to being monetized, to be able to have those super chats and people donate. And I really appreciate that. We've never asked anybody to. We appreciate that though, very much so. I know Sean does. I do. We appreciate you guys helping us grow the channel and helping us with these live feeds. But it's Christmas, guys. I have family here. Sean is in Arizona with his family. We're very thankful you jumped on with us, Sean. Knowing that you're with your family for the holidays, we really appreciate that. And thank you so much. Thank you. But
Thanks for having
hey,
me.
Merry Christmas to the group here, everybody. That was awesome. We had a lot of viewers coming on at one time, a lot of comments. But we're gonna wrap things up, guys. So put your comments in here. I'll answer them once the show's loaded. But anything else before the Christmas holiday here, Sean? Anything you want to say about the Steelers or just in general?
Again, I just want to thank you guys for listening to us talk, and we're just a couple of guys talking football. Please don't get mad at us for anything that we, discuss, because we're just, hey, we got love for the sport, and we got love for you guys, and I hope you guys all have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Sean. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys. Oh, Robert, that's your second knee replacement. Sorry, dude. Hopefully you're doing well. That's good, man. Prayers to you, brother. Beer Malls, yeah, guys, I think that zone defense. I liked it too, man. Beer Malls said that. Nova Racer, JOJ, very ticky tacky penalties. I thought they were ticky tacky too, guys, for sure. All right, guys, I appreciate it. And like Sean said, very Merry Christmas to you guys. We're going to jump off here, but thanks for another great show. Merry Christmas, JD. Merry Christmas, Beer Malls. All you guys that are always in the chat, thank you so much. Merry Christmas. All right, Sean, I'll talk to you here later, I'm sure. So,
Okay.
all right, brother.
Thanks for
Peace.
having me, bro. Have a good
No
day.
problem. You
Good
too.
night.
See you guys. Merry
Aloha.
Christmas. Aloha.